Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Parker has said, here's a question, hope it's a good one. One of my favorite restaurants is closing soon permanently. I'm handling the change well, but how can I handle it better? I want this to help everyone. Well, I love that question, Dr. Granpeesheh, because it's about change. And I think we all struggle with change. And, think about all the stuff that has happened in the last year and a half and all the things that have changed and are going to change again. I think everybody's struggling with this a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really smart question, Parker, because one of the things people don't really realize is that the number one cause of anxiety and depression is change. Change is actually considered to be one of the big factors that we evaluate whenever we see someone who comes in and says, I have a lot of depression, I have serious depression going on, or I have serious anxiety going on. The first question is, what in your environment has changed? Because we have, as human beings, such a difficult time with change. And I think it's important to understand why that is. When something changes, we kind of feel insecure a little bit because we've lost a little bit of control over our environment. And that's sort of the same thing that's going on right now, of course. It's like, one day you are told, okay, you can't go into restaurants, you can sit outside, but you have to wear masks. And that's a new rule, right? And then you adjust to that rule because it wasn't a rule you were familiar with before. And then once you've adjusted, then it changes again. And it'll be like, no, I don't know if some of our viewers might know, a lot of places now, especially on the East Coast, and actually in Northern Cal too. I haven't experienced it in Los Angeles, but I'm just about to go to San Francisco this week, and I know in New York I've had this experience as well, where even a restaurant, when you enter, you have to show proof of vaccination, which is a change, right? It's a new thing. And I agree with you, Parker. I drive down the streets, and sometimes I see a lot of restaurants that are my favorite, that I loved, and they're gone, they're closed. So, you're handling it well, that's great. I think just mentally the way to handle this is that just reminding yourself that not all change is bad. Just reminding yourself that change is a little scary just because it's new and we're not used to it, and it's someone else made it happen. We didn't make it happen. So it feels like things are out of control, but they're not. And something better might come. A lot of times change leads to better things. And I always remind myself of that because, a lot of times in life, and this is a good experience or a good experiment at all times, when something changes and you are sad about it, if you later on look back, a lot of times you'll be able to look back and say, wow, it was really hard when it happened, but I'm so glad it happened because so many good things happened after that. So, I'm a very strong believer that the universe is perfect, which basically means that anything that happens, even though it may seem imperfect to me or scary or unpredictable or negative in some way, it is what's meant to be, and that it will help me grow, and it'll help me learn, and it'll be much better for all the people who are involved in it. So I guess those are just some things that might help you whenever you feel kind of scared or maybe insecure or a little bit just annoyed with all of the change.
It's funny, as you were saying that, I was thinking about, for a lot of the families that are, for instance, doing ABA, and a therapist comes in the door and
Oh yeah.
you make a connection, and it feels like no one else is ever going to be able to have that connection again. because of the nature of the business of ABA, those people transition out.
Right.
And I think for a lot of the caregivers, they can relate to this, because when your favorite therapist announces that they're going to go to Australia to be an au pair, which was one of the things that happened to me.
Yes.
Although my favorite therapist announced that he was going to go to Dubai for 2 years, right? And I
Yes.
think everybody thought that I was going to lay on the tarmac and not let him go. I didn't, because I had learned by that point that, that ideally there has to be change, and that people cycle in and off of your child's program so that they can learn from a wide variety of people, so they can deal with a wide variety of people. But, the thing that I always remind families when they're telling me mournfully, they're like, Shannon, you don't understand. I can't live without this person. And I always go, yes, we are cut from the same bolt of cloth. I felt that way once too.
Yes.
But here's the thing, that there was a day when that person was not a part of your life.
Yep.
And so someone else may walk in the door that you go, oh, this person is so amazing, and that there's room for all of that. And I know I found that to be true. And anybody who does ABA for any period of time, I think eventually goes, okay, I have to have my feelings about being sad that this person isn't going to be part of our day-to-day team right now, but I got to make room for more people, and that more great things can happen. And I think it's very similar to what you were saying, Dr. Granpeesheh, that the restaurant that takes the place of your favorite restaurant, as hard as it may seem, may turn out to be your new favorite restaurant, or there might be something across the street that opens, and that being open to see what is coming next.
That's
It's
right.
a powerful lesson in life to learn.
It's a wonderful lesson, Shannon. And I don't remember when I first kind of took this in. I think it was in the early 2000s, but it has changed the way I live.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever something happens that is disturbing, instead of like thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to cope with this? I just immediately remind myself that it's a gift, and that there's something in it for me, and it might be difficult, but it's going to be either a lesson or a wonderful experience, or it's going to lead to a wonderful experience, and these are the journeys, and we are just the type of, human beings are the type of being that likes to be safe.
Yeah.
And so change makes us feel insecure and unsafe. But it's, one of the things that I'm sure you agree in life is just overcoming fear, right? And experiencing the future and going forward and seeing what's next. And it's such a wonderful journey to do that. I mean, I know you were talking about Peter as an example, but if you think about all the people who came after Peter, and not just how you adjusted to it, but what they brought to Jem's life.
Yes.
And
Amazing.
the security you would have felt if Peter had been with you forever, but what would have been missing from Jem's life if those others had not come. It's incredible when you look back.
Yeah. And what was wonderful was it was Peter who imparted that to me. It was
Yes.
Peter who said to me, you didn't bring him to CARD. You didn't bring him here for him to learn how to manage the world with me.
Yes.
You brought him here to learn how to manage the world. And that means he needs to be exposed to more people than me. Because
Yes.
I'm not going to be there with him side by side
Right.
for the rest of his life. Although that would have been good too. But but he was right. And
he was there recently, wasn't he, at graduation?
Yes, he went with us to graduation. So yes, but and I keep telling him it's his job to teach him how to drive.
Yes.
Anyway. All right. Mary Kathy has written in and said, hello. Oh, did I do something that made you small? I don't know if that was me, Traven, that did that. Let me see. I don't know what happened. There we go. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.